someone dies in it.
Saw it.
Stick with the video.
Oh, it did start with that. God damn. All right, ready?
Yep. Okay, so we are going to be reviewing Money in the Bank, which actually just happened just last week. I guess the day doesn't really matter.
2017.
Ooh. Yeah, so it was a pretty decent one. It wasn't great. It wasn't one of their worst ones. I haven't seen a lot of them, so I can't really say completely. And it's ironic because the match actually started off with, the card actually started off with women's Money in the Bank match, which is pretty crazy. Pretty historical match, and that's how it got started. I don't remember who came to the ring first, but I was like, it was a decent match. There was a couple, okay spots, but it wasn't something that I was super into. I don't know about you. How'd you feel about it?
I felt like it was a little bit of letdown as far as, you thought one of the girls would really get out and kind of, I don't know, I mean, it's horrible to say, but, try to kill themselves in a sense.
Yeah, there wasn't there wasn't a high spot that was worth, the risk. There was maybe, the one, I think you liked it quite a bit, where Becky powerbombed,
yes, I like Carmella,
that, off the ladder, which was
that
really
was the
decent
spot of the match for me. I was like, oh, that was pretty cool. And then there was, a spot where I know Charlotte did some sort of moonsault move out to, is it Tamina? Is that her name?
I believe so, yes.
And
There's a daughter, I believe.
Yeah, and then I think there's a couple other people she took out with that for a bit, which was all right, but it wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't as spectacular as she's done some sort of spinny flippy move before.
You should have done more to sell.
But do something
for
off the ladder.
Because
use the ladder, as either way, and
because the match is as historic as it was,
yeah,
or was supposed to be that historic. It didn't seem like they really pulled out all the stops. It seemed like a basic match with a ladder in the middle of the ring where you're trying to grab the briefcase, which I guess is good. But I don't know. You're trying to put them over as a whole as being a better division, and SmackDown actually has done very well at honestly plugging new people in. They got rid of Alexa Bliss and they plugged in Charlotte, and they just kept going. Alexa Bliss isn't doing outstanding with Bayley right now on Raw. So I mean, obviously SmackDown's doing something right, but this match was something that seemed wrong, really. And it seemed kind of it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. And it's weird because Money in the Bank matches are always so good. It seems like they're really hard to be bad because there's so much at stake, and it didn't feel like there was much at stake. It didn't seem like the belt mattered, which is even.
It also
sucked more, because I really like the females division. So
yeah, and it's just which will go on throughout the whole pay-per-view. You just kind of felt like you knew who was gonna win, and then it's that's who won. Because I wasn't mad.
More upset.
I wasn't mad that Charlotte.
Upset, but not mad.
Yeah. No, it's not Charlotte. What's her name?
Becky.
The girl that won.
Carmella.
Carmella. Sorry, I wasn't mad that Carmella won, but
okay, forget it.
She freaking everyone was mad that she won. Whatever, who cares? But I don't know. My thing is she.
Oh yeah, to the finish. The finish, the way she won though. Yeah, the match ended up ending with Ellsworth helping. Ellsworth pushed Becky off the ladder, I believe, right?
Yeah, well, she was gonna grab it, and then Ellsworth ran up
ladder
as the crowd cheered for him to get it.
They were very for it, and then he took it and threw it down to Carmella, and Carmella has caught it amazing.
Right?
I was
earned it.
Yeah,
earned it.
Good
earned
catch.
That catch.
Good catch. It looked pretty badass to me, but I was regardless, the crowd was over with it. But to be fair, though, the crowd did pop louder for Becky trying to climb up the ladder and get it. I think the crowd wanted Becky to win it. But it's weird, though, too, because people are kind of should be conditioned to see, the heel win it. But I was the heel won it anyways. And I was and she won it in a heel way. But I don't know. A lot of people had Twitter outrage afterwards, after the match, immediately. It's oh wow, look, a man won the first women's Money in the Bank match. Can you believe the outrage? It's well, I mean, the match itself wasn't great, so should be more outraged with that than anything. But.
And it's also this is the first time that's ever happened. So in the first ever women's match, it's also the first time someone's ever actually taken the briefcase for someone else and then giving it to them.
It adds
adds another thing for you to remember about it, a little bit more of a memorable thing where you might be oh, I remember that Becky won it or this person won it, but it's you're going to remember this. You won't forget this, even though...
It makes the next one that much more important, too, I think. So it's I actually agree with that a ton, because, now because there was, a false finish, now when you have one that has an actual finish, it'll make it that much more important, especially if you even have a babyface decide to win it. So if you have, Becky win it or anything like that down the line, which is kind of funny, we'll talk about that, later. But I was going to say, though, so, maybe there'll be another match down the line where, Becky gets a chance to win, or one of the babyfaces, Charlotte, even gets a chance to win. So it makes it look more important that they won it after losing it in such a cheating manner. So it's you overcame the odds, or I don't know. So it's it wasn't a great match though, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't great.
Yeah, exactly.
It definitely is meh. It was actually followed up though by like what I thought was a decent match. Like I thought it was a really good match. It was a tag match between the Usos as heel versus which like they're over right. I mean they're awesome right now.
I think so. I like them a
think
lot. I think
really,
they're cool.
Really
They
decent.
have like this almost like we're like thug thing. They're like all like mean looking, and some of them. I think they have grills sometimes in, you know? They got like, this teeth thing going on. They wear their belts around their neck almost like it's like a chain or something.
Yeah, they're
walk
more
with a
hardcore.
swagger rather than like coming out and like
swag.
doing a rugby thing like ooh so like that ain't happening now. They're like coming
they're not
in
like
with
some sort of Samoan nation anymore.
Yeah.
They've actually become like actual people. Like they're whatever they're portraying is pretty like that's who they are. It seems like they can actually portray that person or whatever it is. And they become like really into that character, like a ton at least in my mind. It seems like they exemplify it really well. Also too, their mic skills are crazy. Like they're really good. I think I've said it before. I was like, I would like to see like I know they would never do it, but Roman Reigns be with them.
Yeah.
It's like it'd be a cool faction. Like you have Yinder with like two jobber tag like people. Why can't you have Roman with two really good tag people and then them be like their talkers all the time? You don't need to have Roman talk. You can say like 3 words with them. But regardless, though, they were actually versing the babyface New Days, which they're amazing. And they actually had representing was Kofi and Big E, which is probably like their better tag team. Obviously, it's better than having Xavier. Cause,
definitely agree.
Like,
Xavier's got a freaking. He's got his gimmick to play with outside. He's got his trombone.
Right?
I believe it's Francine too, but I could have forgot.
So. Francine is beautiful,
right?
I haven't heard of ECW's Francine, but
nice.
Like, I think she's amazing. But I was gonna say you are right though. It does make sense having him outside with the gimmick. He's not like a bad wrestler, but he's like a 205 wrestler.
Yeah.
Like, you should be on 205 with Enzo Amore. Get the Stephen friend. It's like,
oh gosh,
or be a manager.
That's probably where they'll send that motherfucker.
Probably. I wish they had just had a manage, but that's impossible. But regardless, though, it was like the match ended up being pretty decent. I thought it was good. There was a couple a lot of like big boy spots. I think you said like WWE strong style. A lot of like them beating each other up. A couple like corner spots where they jumped out of the ring. There was Kofi's trust fall, which was awesome.
Yeah, I like that move. That's a really cool move that they are hopefully gonna have him use a lot. I don't know. It's just like something different.
He just jumped him from the corner, jumping out. He took the whole took them out and Big E.
Does kind of like this Jesus thing and falls down.
Just falls backwards. And I was gonna say they also had what was it? They landed their finisher too, which is actually pretty decent. Like it seems like you would have to have Big E in there to do that finisher move.
Yeah.
It's like it's almost impossible because he has to heft the guy up. But it was like I really liked the ending, the way the Usos just like broke that up and then rolled out. He saved his brother and just was like, "Let's go."
Yeah.
And took the belt and like left.
Classic. It was just like the most classic heel thing to do. It's like, oh shit, dude, this is not going our way. We need to take a break, go in the back, fucking work our I don't know, figure something else out because we can't beat these guys right now.
Recollect, recalibrate
it's
for
like,
the next pay per view or something like that.
Yeah, it's like you definitely
time for us to have a better match or something like that. But the match wasn't bad. I thought it was a pretty decent match. And I was like, because that ending it made it good. I think people didn't like that either. But what's weird though is I can understand not liking 2 false finishes in a row or 2 like schmozzes or whatever you want to call it. But it's like at the same time though, if this one would have only happened, it probably would have been better because this one had a better ending than the Money in the Bank. But the Money in the Bank one was still good too. So
it was a little bit like a sandwich that you didn't get to finish the whole thing of, but the beginning of it was still like really delicious. Or a sandwich without
bread, you just got meats. Here's some meats. A whole bunch of meats, just eat them. You're like, I have a whole bunch. I held on to a lot of it with my hand. Yeah. It's kind of gross and warm. I don't eat this warm bologna and like whatever other type of meat you gave me. Venison? Why'd you give me venison? But either way, that's gross. That match was actually, well, I was gonna say it was followed up by the Women's World Heavyweight Championship or SmackDown Championship. Lana versus Naomi, but Lana came out and naturally like she was amazingly hot. She was gorgeous. She looked really, really good.
Yes.
It's very good. And then Naomi's entrance was amazing too. Like she looked amazing. But I was gonna say she just looked cool as hell as well with the extensions in her hair and everything like that. And
yeah, I like that glow gimmick thing. It's weird. It just looks cool.
And she does it well. Like it plays to her well, I guess. Like I think if a lot of other people tried that, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't work. It'd be horrible. But I think it works really well with her.
You need that butt. You need that giant booty.
The booty does actually help portray. The booty does its duty. The booty does its duty in selling that gimmick. That's definitely true. Like, to be fair, the match was something that like I didn't like. I know it's horrible, and like I said it before, and I was saying when we first talked about it, I was like I really didn't like at all. I didn't like at all how like the referees had to keep on putting over that Lana's first ever like singles match. This is their first ever singles match.
Yeah.
It's like how like that doesn't serve the match any good. Like it makes them both look bad. Like how does it help the match? Like good job making Naomi look worse. Like how does that make Naomi's a world champion?
Yeah. Why are you versing this girl in her first ever matches versus?
And it's lasting more than 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Like you should be squashing her.
Yeah.
Like Asuka wouldn't deal with this. Like and you're the world champion. Like who's Lana? Like Lana had like she did have some good matches and stuff like that.
Beat the shit out of that bitch.
Right. Beat her up, destroy her, and also too, it kind of made like Lana just like she wasn't good, so it's like it's not fair.
Yeah, she wasn't good enough to show that she deserved to just go in there. Like if it was like you just said Asuka, if it was someone like Asuka, and like say we never even heard of Asuka before, yada yada blah blah.
Yeah.
But like she comes in, it's like oh wow, this girl can work. It's like this. It's like when Lana came in, it's like oh this girl can yell a lot.
Yep.
Like you said, she went to the Lex Luger school.
She
had a lot to say.
Luger's, she's like she's really good at pointing out when she's selling.
Ah ah.
Like, wow, that's that. Wow, lady, calm down.
Yeah, a lot of screaming. That's what I remember, and then I was pretty good on the match.
Best part of the match may have been actually Carmella coming down with the Money in the Bank briefcase,
Little teaser.
and tempting it, or teasing it, but nothing came of it naturally.
Yeah.
But it was like because Lana ended up not being able to like put away Naomi, rightfully so. She did like work the leg, but then she ended up working the wrong leg. So overall, the match wasn't good. So like that actually ended up announcers even announced it like, oh wait, hit the right leg. Okay, just go on. And I was like,
Yeah,
so
just
regardless, we'll go on as well because it's a horrible match. And I was gonna say followed up by the Fashion Police, which was not horrible. It was like amazing. It's probably one of the better parts of the show.
Nice little Fashion Police skit that started out very Miami Vice like and
1980s.
Was it something like the search continues or something like that? It was like it almost was like that's the name of the episode or whatever the fuck at the beginning.
Yeah, I forgot what it was exactly, but it was like amazing.
And you have Fandango. He comes out. He's got his freaking Polly Dangerously cell phone with what looked like no battery in it.
Property of Polly. And it had no battery. You were correct. And I was going to say, then it had in the background the billboard and everything like that with all the people pinned up on the billboard, which was awesome. I don't know why.
Oh, yeah,
it just had, like, wanted for Michael Hayes. It's like, and fashion icon was Dusty Rhodes. But I was going to say, that gets off topic. Then they end up getting a video from somebody because they they get a fax and they're scared by the fax machine naturally because they're idiots. I was like, which is why they're so funny, but I was like, it's really, really good. And maybe because of that, but they end up like getting something at the door because the fax tells them this. So because of that, they end up actually going to the door and getting a VHS, which is
non-Coliseum. Which was the first question. It's like, is that Coliseum?
Had to point that out.
I don't think so.
No.
But they put it in. It was some black dudes. Like I don't think they were black, but they were in black. You could not see them.
In black shadow completely.
No, it was definitely mysterious, and you kind of felt like you're gonna get.
You knew who it was, but like you're like, why would it be them?
Yeah.
So like that's something that's kind of odd. Like you know who it was, but you really didn't want to see who it was.
Yeah. And you wanted to believe it was gonna be anyone but the people that you thought it was gonna be, which I guess we'll wait a second.
Yeah, we'll tell you in a bit as if it was a surprise.
It's gonna be a great
yeah. Right. Ooh. I was like, well, then it's followed up by another promo, which is odd. They kind of sandwiched it in. There's also a lot of commercials during this like pay-per-view. I didn't say that, but there's something that's really weird about having the network. Like, it may be like a free pay-per-view, but there's a lot of commercials. So,
yeah,
there's like a lot of commercials for like other pay-per-views and stuff like that. It made me feel like it was WCW like 1992. But I was gonna say though, regardless, it was like followed by a promo with Mike and Maria Kanellis, which finally just got signed by WWE. From TNA Impact. They were not like over, but they were talent as well in New Japan for a while, and they also were talent in TNA. I didn't really follow them. I only saw them because of the Broken Hardy, but I was like, she is gorgeous and she's amazing on the mic. He's actually really, really good on the mic. I thought
is he a good wrestler?
He's not bad. He's actually not bad at wrestling. He's a solid he actually wrestles quite a bit like I would say like a Cody Rhodes style.
Okay.
Very like mat based or like maybe more like 2010ish. Like
all
that
right.
style of like he does have a couple jumping moves, but now I think a solid upper mid card. Like I think he'd be good intercontinental. I don't know what they're gonna use him as, but that's what they used him as TNA. He was like fighting for like the over King of the Mountain belt when they still had it. But that became a new bout though. I was like he was fighting with Eli Drake when we first started watching, and Eli Drake I like quite a bit too. It is just a fact of life. It's it's his gimmick. It's pretty decent. Also too, he had at one point in time where he would come out with the stand and he would hit a button and he'd call people dummy. He's like, dummy!
All right, I'm down with that.
He's an
It's
asshole.
not too bad.
I was like a horrible guy. It's like, but either way though, I was gonna say they were feuding. It was a pretty decent feud because they were both good on the mic. But I was like, the promo wasn't bad. It's like I felt like it was really annoying and it made you want to hate them.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was like the goal of it.
Nasty like slow mo kissing
Yep.
shit. You're just like, I just don't want to see someone doing that right now.
I felt really
weird.
cringeworthy, brother love-ish almost too, where it's like, oh, I don't want to watch this, but at the same time though, because I don't want to watch it is why I'm watching it.
Like I'm like snacking and like watching wrestling. It's like, oh, this is gross.
A little bit over the top.
Yeah.
Getting
What's wrong with you guys?
getting in there deep, aren't you?
But I don't know. Maybe they need another heel on the brand or whatever. And
Right, and it's a good
hopefully that
women's
works
wrestler
for 'em.
and a
They
good men's wrestler.
Get 2 heels for the price of 1.
Huh?
I don't know.
Doesn't hurt them any. Like their heels that they have are horrible in the women's one. So
Yeah,
it's a good,
awful.
yeah, very bad.
What is it, Tamina? She's like, whatever.
Horrible.
I don't even know.
Horrible. They actually just showed like a thing where like on SmackDown, not that I should talk about SmackDown anyway, where she was like Charlotte said something about beating somebody up and making them look like I forgot.
Oh, Mike Ellsworth, right?
Yeah, they're gonna make you look like Mike Ellsworth, and then to me after it was like, you need to shut up, or I'm gonna make you look like Mike Ellsworth.
Or James what?
Yeah, James Ellsworth.
Whatever.
Ellsworth. Either way, though,
The
Mike Bennett, James Ellsworth. It doesn't matter. They're both gonna job. So I was like, what is? Hopefully they don't make him, but they probably will. I was gonna say, and that was actually followed up by like not a horrible match. It kind of told like a decent story. Randy versus Yinder for the or the SmackDown Heavyweight Championship. It wasn't like a bad match. I think Yinder was pretty cool. He came out first. His entrance was really, really decent. I don't know, he just looked really cool as champion. He plays the part pretty well as a heel. He's not doing great. He has like 6 moves and they're not good moves. Like that's the thing that sucks
dude. It's
about him,
just
is,
like he needs
he's
something
not-
cool, dude, or something that like looks like it like legitimately hurts someone. I guess he like did legitimately hurt Finn Balor with his elbows, so it's like he thinks he can keep doing that, but it's like, dude, I don't know, just
How long are you gonna have that gimmick?
yeah, it's just
I
not
mean, more
enough.
times you're gonna be able to hit a guy in the face with an elbow before they don't tolerate and they beat the hell out of you. I was like, either way though, it just seems like it's not very. And like the match itself wasn't like bad. Like there was the part where they had the interruption from like the old men and like well, not the old men didn't interrupt, but like the young boys like. They tried to interrupt in the match, and then after like Randy Orton called attention to it, they kicked him out. And then like while they were leaving, they ended up trying to attack like the old men.
Yeah, because
Like,
they had Randy Orton's dad there.
Yep.
I don't know
Bob
if we mentioned that yet.
No,
but
I didn't. We didn't mention that they actually like they gave like credit to a whole bunch of older gentlemen that were I guess from wrestling in the area, which didn't make sense because Ric Flair was there. So it's like I don't really know, but I know. I know Bob Orton did live there, so that makes sense, and that is Randy Orton's hometown.
Yeah.
So this match was already going like uphill with that, like the formula of like you lose at home. So like that happened, but also too it did have the weird idea or the weird thing that like for some reason the champion came out first.
Yeah.
Which usually with Randy Orton means Randy Orton's gonna beat you up.
Yep.
Almost always, because Randy Orton's like, I'm gonna get my moment, I'm gonna come out last. Like, which doesn't make sense. Did it at WrestleMania to Bray Wyatt, which is totally unfair.
Yeah.
But not that that matters because the match was horrible, so that was unfair in itself for anyone who like really wanted to see that match. But I was gonna say, and the match ended up with like a distraction being had by like the young boys like going to beat up one of like Bob Orton, and thank God they didn't actually hit him because they looked like they would have turned to dust if they were hit by him.
Oh God.
It would have been cool to see like one of them deliver a pile driver or like.
Oh, just pile driver Bob Orton?
Oh no, Bob Orton deliver a pile driver.
Oh, okay.
Like, oh my God! No, that would kill him. He would have died. He would have pooped his pants. So,
yeah, I guess that would have been cool. I was glad that they didn't beat up those little dudes because I mean.
No, I know you weren't. I was just saying it would have been funny.
It would have.
Besides that, though, I do agree with you. It didn't really need to happen. It wasn't necessary. And I was gonna say though, maybe like a Ric Flair chop wouldn't have hurt anybody any before. Like, and then Randy Orton was like, no, I can't let my dad get beat up. So Randy Orton had to come out and like fight them, which was naturally a distraction. And unlike the last match when Randy Orton came to the ring, he didn't immediately get the finisher from Yinder. He actually beat Yinder up for a little bit, and Yinder fought back for like 2 or 3 seconds, and then did his finisher, and then won. So, ironically, he won again. Another dirty win, but he's a heel, so it's like that's kind of how you want him to win. Really good way for him to win.
Yeah.
It's like, and I at least I feel like he should keep the belt. I don't really want Randy Orton with the belt. Doesn't make sense to give it to him for his 14th time. It's like
I would say that that was probably basically what was good about the match. The fact that they kept it on Jinder Mahal. He and Randy Orton beat up his little friends.
Yeah, and didn't hurt him. Didn't kill him. It didn't look like he didn't actually drop one on their head.
Because the pay-per-view before, yeah, exactly. That's what it looked like.
He almost killed one of them.
It just didn't look great.
No, it was horrible. It looked like he killed. He even made a face to the camera.
Yeah.
He had to tell people. He's like, "Oh, I killed that guy. Check him.
Might have happened.
Give him a checky.
Check his hand.
Discount double check that, bro."
But yeah, it's a pretty garbage match,
Smelled
and
his
it's
pants.
like
yeah, I actually agree
you
on
just
that.
really it just sucks because you're like, it just feels like they want to keep going with it, and it's like, please stop. Please just stop.
Also,
but
too, we have
I don't know.
nothing like having the World Championship match before the Money in the Bank match. Like,
Yeah.
we clearly are having it before. We haven't had it yet, so like we just match happens and you're like, what?
That's a great point.
They don't really reveal the card to you like they do with like New Japan, it seems like, or PWG, where you get to see the card.
Yeah.
Except for Battle of Los Angeles, they don't do that, or G1 Climax, they don't do they reveal it as it goes. I guess we're new to that. We're getting more into that. So it's like I don't know. It's one of those things where like they have an established card. Like, why can't you tell us what's gonna happen?
It's like last year you did the fucking Money in the Bank match and you did a championship match after it. So
On purpose, which was an amazing championship match. It was Roman versus Seth, right?
Yeah.
And then
And
like
it's
with
like,
Dean
now
Ambrose winning Money in the Bank, so it gave it the opportunity of being like, wow, he could cash it in tonight, which is kind of what you want to see.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, everyone kind of wants to see that a little bit, right? Or
just adds interest to the pay-per-view, adds a little
Intrigue.
bit of suspense and all that. You
Suspense,
got it with
intrigue.
suspense, intrigue. You got it with the ladies match, but you didn't really get it with like the men, so that was kind of annoying, you know. It's
Yeah,
like,
they toyed with it, but didn't actually do anything with it.
It wouldn't be there because the match already was over. I mean, what are you gonna just
Right.
cash in or get out of here, Jinder? It's like Jinder has left. It's like, oh, Jinder's left the building and the match starts and you lose he gets counted out.
He's done.
You win, but he maintains the championship.
Oh.
The most that would be like the worst.
Ever, like, it's like the worst thing ever. It's like,
The
oh,
worst
God,
cash in.
like,
Worst
huh?
cash in ever.
Everyone's like, what the hell just happened? You know what just happened.
Yeah.
You know,
You just got don't hinder the Jinder.
You just tried to hinder him. Once you
Yeah.
I was gonna say, regardless, they tried to hinder the Fashion Files, and you can't do that. And the match was followed up, which is really crazy that it followed up the heavyweight championship match. So we find out who the assailants are of Febreze, and it's Ascension, ironically.
Whoa, dude! I was worried. I was
yeah.
like, I wish I could
Didn't know
get
it
some more
was.
Ascension, dude. I didn't think I would get it, and it's like, oh, thank goodness.
They supplemented it for you in a
Yeah.
pay-per-view, actually.
Oh
so
man,
it's like,
how lucky and stuff.
you want to get these boys over? Let them versus Fandango and Tyler Breeze.
Put some.
So
What
basically,
looks
what
like
they're telling
stitches
you
in their
right
mouth.
here is,
You wanna put some stitches in their mouth, paint, and it's like, oh yeah, that's
right?
cool.
They're like, what they're telling you
For
right here.
children.
There's about an hour and 20 minutes left in your pay-per-view. And so you got 20 minutes to really get some food.
You need to hit up those concessions. Grab a beer.
Grab a
Use
beer,
the bathroom.
get yourself something. I don't know if you're at home watching the network. I know you can pause, but sometimes, like, do your stuff now. You
Yeah.
don't need to pause or fast forward it.
They want you to watch it live. They do so that you can be tweeting along.
That's true. They do want you to
Now
tweet.
you're tweeting along. Now you're part of the show.
I actually know someone at my place of work that her dad only has Twitter because of wrestling.
Oh
It's
my
kinda
gosh,
funny.
really?
Yeah, I
Makes
think
you
it's really
tweet-
funny.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's insane that you said that.
I do not tweet, but that's
it's like it's probably for the best. It doesn't
Yeah.
make sense. I don't understand tweeting, but I just like try to gather followers. I want to see what happens, then do like a really one bad
need to
tweet.
follow.
Just do one really bad tweet.
I follow.
Goldfish getting blown up. No, never do that. I like animals.
Yeah.
But regardless, this match was like really not.
Oh, it's
Good.
garbage. It just sucked.
Yeah,
It's
so-
boring. I think it was like a roll-up win. I remember, and I remember the Ascension shirt looked like it was cut too thin. That's what I remember of the match.
See a man's nip through that shirt.
Yeah, it's like, dude, like that's like too thin, dude. It's like a tie or something.
You want to
Just
step
looks
it back
stupid.
a little bit, Haas? And he didn't.
No.
Not one bit.
It's like, actually, if I already committed, I'm gonna cut it even thinner.
Committed this shirt.
It's like, what the fuck?
He's like, no one's gonna sell my tee but me. That's right, because no one's gonna wear your tee but you.
Yeah.
So
I was just bummed Tyler Breeze didn't have a broom. You know that's I want some entertainment.
Yeah, he
here.
didn't do a lot of his gimmick stuff. I take it. He didn't do his like rolling around the ring, which I thought was hilarious. It kind of
Yeah, it
carried
was-
the match last time.
It was crap, dude. I don't know. You're better off. I think you said you didn't watch this one, right?
Yeah, I
You
skipped it. I feel
Yeah.
bad. Like I watched the first like 2 minutes of them coming down to the ring, and I actually was like, I can't watch this.
Yeah, it was bad.
I already had food.
I hope that
So.
you know
Like
Ascension doesn't get on too much more. I just feel bad for them. They have just.
they're
I
really
feel
good
bad for
wrestlers.
you.
Maybe they need a new gimmick, or maybe they need to go back to NXT. Wouldn't hurt them
Yeah.
any. Like that's what I think's weird. Like
Shoulder
I think there's like an
pads.
odd thing about like they need to add shoulder pads. I was like,
Bring
that's
them
one of the
back.
weird things I think people feel bad about going to NXT. I think like it's not like I don't know, they don't seem to exercise that right too much. They just release that talent. Like there's certain talent that maybe you're paying that like you can rework a contract that they won't mind being in NXT. So they need
Yeah.
tag teams like Ascension versus Author of Pain. Okay, that makes sense. Go fight down there. They lost the DIY, so do it yourself. Johnny Gargano.
Mhm.
But I was like, either way though, they just don't need to be up here playing with whatever the big guys, not the
Yeah.
big boys, the big guys. The big guys.
The big guys. I want to be. I'm sick of fighting with the little boys.
The boys in NXT.
I want to fight The big guys.
The big guys. Grappling with the big guys. But I was like, of course the big guys were grappling in the Money in the Bank match, which was the main event, and we've already stated how we were kind of bothered by that, so we won't continue to do it, but I probably will say stuff accidentally, subconsciously, Freudian slips maybe, but it was like, regardless, either way though, this match was, I thought, awesome. It was probably one of the better matches of the night. Well, it was the match of the night, really.
Oh,
I was like, that in the tag
definitely.
match. It started out with, I believe, AJ was first, came out, then it was followed by the Ziggy, and then followed by KO, right? And then Nakamura came out, and, oh no, Sami Zayn came out before that. And then,
Sami Zayn.
And then Nakamura came out and got his ass kicked by Baron Corbin almost immediately into his music. Like, beat the crap out of him.
I was
like
so
horrible?
pissed.
Yeah, right? Yeah, it's like...
Oh my gosh, I was like, please don't.
A lot of people booed that.
Don't fucking have him not fight at all.
Yeah, have him just miss the whole match. Let's just have him miss the whole match. Or basically, reason people wanted to see it was to see AJ face off against Nakamura.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of people are kind of... Especially, I would say, wrestling fans, quotation mark. Like, people that are really, really into wrestling, like us. So, to be fair, like, us, not to be, like, completely smirky, but it was, like, I wanted to see that. Like, I really wanted to see also KO versus Nakamura if possible.
Yeah.
Didn't get to see a ton of, but I was like, who doesn't want to see that a little bit? I was like, they're both kind of strong, stylish. So it's like one guy likes to throw someone around, one guy likes to kick someone around. So that would be neat to see. Regardless, Corbin came down to the ring like a madman and then yelled for about 20 seconds about how he wanted the match to start, then ring that bell. And like we didn't state it completely entirely this time, but like how stupid the referees are and not knowing any of the rules to anything. Here's another prime
it went
example.
out throughout the whole fucking pay-per-view. The women's match, they didn't know what to do when fucking Carmella won. Does she win? Does she not
They
win?
didn't realize, just like JBL had said, that it was a DQ match. It was a no DQ match. I'm sorry, I didn't say that right in the first place. But I was going to say it's a no DQ match, which means that anything can happen. There are no rules. Like, there aren't written rules to this. Like, that's it. Until you add stipulations, which aren't rules, they're stipulations because they're removed for each match. So it's like there was no stipulations either. There weren't any stipulations against Ellsworth helping. Yeah. So how are the referees confused with that?
Yeah, they're idiots.
Yeah, right? Also, they were confused with this. Like, how are they confused with, like, him beating the hell out of that guy? He beat the crap out of him before the match. Even if the match had started, he would have been allowed to do that. You can fight anywhere in the ring. It's Money in the Bank. The only rule is you have to climb to the top and get the briefcase to win. That's the win. Yeah. We don't even have to climb to the top. If you could jump, whatever. Just get it. So, regardless, though, they seemed very confused by that. It's kind of hilarious. They did their, like, Three Stooges thing, and then they rang the bell, and then everyone proceeded to fight. So, no one really ganged up on anyone. There wasn't any, like, alliances right away. But I was going to say, still, the match was pretty decent. There was a funny spot with, like, at least I thought it was really funny, of Ziggler helping out Corbin.
Oh, yeah.
And then he's like, way to go, pal. I was like, I don't even know why it's so 1950s.
Gave him a little pat on the back, and then Corbin gave a couple looks and then beat the shit out of fucking Ziggler. He's like, I'm a lone wolf, okay? I don't know if you've heard about that.
But... need none of this Stardust crap or Ziggy, whatever the hell you are. Ziggy butt crack. Get out of here.
Yeah.
So he did beat him.
So he beat his ass up. Freaking there's a sweet spot with Sami Zayn doing a sunset flip over the fucking ladder with onto was it Sami Zayn who took that spot too?
Well, Sami Zayn did it to
Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler.
Ziggler, yeah. That's the one part I ended up remembering seeing when I rewatched that. I was like, yeah, it was actually a very good spot. I was going to say Sami Zayn had a couple very decent spots altogether, and I was going to say not...
Yeah, he did actually have a couple. In the Kevin Owens one where he, like, Sami Zayn threw Kevin Owens off, like, the rope onto the ladder or something.
Oh, yeah! That was neat.
That was brutal.
They had some brutal mix-ups, too. So I was going to say, and then there's also the one with AJ doing, like, an F5 to, Kevin Owens, which was hilarious. They picked him up, period, and threw him right onto that ladder. And it literally looked like it killed Kevin Owens. Like, I thought that Kevin Owens may have died. Or, like, had organs, like, stop for a little bit. So it was
just like him just destroying his back. And then he's, like, also a pretty big dude. It's like, how do you fucking fake that shit?
Not many ways to, like, fake falling on a ladder. Yeah. I don't care who you are. I don't know how you lighten that. Like, I'll just drop you a little less farther than, like, 6 feet. I'll do 4 feet, so... there you go. You have 4 feet to fall. Put your hands out. Like, but you gotta do it, like, right before, because you don't want to look like you're not selling the move. So
actually, a lot of people took some harsh bumps. So you took those two. Fucking Dolph Ziggler had taking the sunset flip from Sami Zayn, and also Sami Zayn just doing that move to a guy would hurt.
Right.
And then there's also the spot where AJ Styles, somewhere in the match, he had the actual briefcase. They pulled the ladder
Dolph
off
Ziggler
him.
pulled the ladder out from
It was
underneath
Dolph
him.
Ziggler?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yeah. That was
Dolph
really
Ziggler
amazing.
pulled it, and it looked like
Thought
AJ
AJ
was
gonna
gonna
win.
try to pull himself up and grab the
He
briefcase.
didn't have enough
But
strength.
it just seemed like he couldn't even make that look like he was trying to do that at that point. He was just like, oh my god, this is a horrible idea. I'm
yeah, he
up
sold
really
that
high.
he looked like he had like no strength left in
Yeah.
him. It was pretty
And then eventually
intense. I was gonna say it was actually one of the more intense moments of the match. You're like, that's a good fall.
Right? Eventually just,
decent
when
fall.
he couldn't hold on anymore
Plus
and
he
just
got hit
fell
with the
right
ladder
on his
like
guts.
Yeah, right?
It was just like, oh gosh.
Surprised he didn't knock the wind out of him, but he's in such good shape that like that probably doesn't happen often.
Yeah, just fucking hulked out.
Well, I was gonna say also too when he got hit with the ladder from Ziggler and Corbin, that's pretty decent bump. Period. I was gonna say getting hit with the ladder still like no matter how you fake it, you still gotta even put your hands up, hurt your hands, hurt something. I'm like I don't care who you are, it still has a little bit of like that kind of hurt.
Aluminum hurts.
Yeah, right. No matter what, as like it has to be strong enough to hold like Corbin climbing up it, so that's how thick it is, regardless. So I was gonna say though, then after everyone's basically annihilated each other, out of nowhere you hear Nakamura's music start playing, which is amazing. Everyone goes insane. You hear the crowd probably at one of its louder pops of the night, like easily. They were actually start singing his music. He comes down.
Yeah, they sang his music while he started doing his assault on his first victim, which was it Corbin? Was that his first?
Corbin or Ziggler?
I think it was Corbin because Corbin was literally about to grab the briefcase.
Yeah, he was climbing up the ladder and he stopped and he he actually decided to face off with them.
He decided to give it a finish his job, finish the job on the Nakamura's. But Nakamura's like, dude, I used legs instead of fists, and he did. It was very effective. I think even Sami Zayn tried to come in, and he just kicked his arms, and then just beat the shit out of him too. Gave him one of them exploder moves or something.
Which Sami Zayn didn't take very well. He took it on his knees like Kane. He did a Kane bump. But I was gonna say regardless though, and then it ended up with Sami Zayn, it ended up with Nakamura climbing the ladder and starting to climb up, and then AJ entering the ring.
Yeah.
And starting to climb the ladder too. Then they both climb back down and they set the ladder aside and they give each other the stare down. Which was awesome. It was pretty electrifying. I was like mainly the reason why people wanted to see the pay-per-view and why it was the main event. But at the same time though, like it doesn't need to be the main event. But regardless, I'm like
they both basically came into the WWF around the same time, and fucking you had to wait this long to see them in the ring together, let alone to see them fight. And you got a little bit, you didn't get that much of them fighting, but that little bit just seemed so awesome, and it was just like, this is so good.
He doesn't take the Kinshasa. He actually ends up blocking it with like an elbow,
Mm-hmm.
which is crazy. That's awesome. Probably one of my favorite like moves of the match because I love Nakamura. AJ's one of my favorites too. But I was hoping he was gonna hit him with that. He hit him with the exploder, then went to go for the knee to the face, and instead of hitting the knee to the face, he like jumped up and elbowed him in the face while he was going for the knee. I was like, oh god, he's so agile.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say though, it was really really decent. I think Corbin came back in and was like, no. He just beat everyone up.
I'm a lone wolf.
Yeah, he decided that it was done. So he beat the living hell out of both of them. Well, I don't know if he did that. I think he beat the hell out of whoever was still standing. I think it was AJ. But either way, it didn't really matter, though, because left him as, like, the lone wolf really in the ring. I don't know. There might have been a couple other things that happened. There was the part...
Yeah, the only other thing I remember is, like, when Nakamura first was, like, bringing the ladder into the ring after, like, clearing it out. Like, everyone's, like, just dead, you know? He's bringing it back in, and it's just like seems like it's a little heavy for him. And he looks back, and there's Kevin Owens. He's just holding
a couple tugs.
He's just like trying to stop him, but it's like you're dead, dude. Just fuck you. And Nakamura does like a little roll in and roll out of the ring.
Yeah.
Just
slides out the other side.
Fucking does a little destruction on the Kevin Owens.
Need him in the face. He needed it.
And that's when he brings it in and yada yada. But I just thought that was just great selling by Kevin Owens.
Like, really good.
I don't want to.
I still want the championship.
Like,
I should be champion.
Yeah.
Like, no, you shouldn't. You're getting your ass kicked, bro. Huh?
Yeah, you got taken out, dude. Sorry.
Yep. I was gonna say it's time for me and AJ to set this up.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have a little standoff really quick. And I was like, and then of course Corbin's like I said, of course Corbin ended up winning. I wasn't mad with the win. I think a lot of people expected that. I think you expected it. I expected. Yeah. We kind of had like an expectation of like. I also was like.
It was hard to believe. It was hard for me to believe anyone other than Corbin would win, just because, just by just like kind of thinking it out a little bit. Like it's like okay, you could give it to this person, but then this would happen. It just.
You're not gonna give it to Ziggler because. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like, why would Ziggler win it? Then you have AJ Styles. Like, does he need a Money in the Bank to be relevant?
Exactly.
No.
It seems kind of weird for him to have that.
It really helps push the character. And I was gonna say, like, to be fair, Corbin is like a WWE star. I don't know where he came from before this. Maybe he came from somewhere else.
It's some sort of footballing or something.
Yeah, he played football. He's also a boxer, I believe.
Okay.
So it's like he's slowly but surely he won the his first match ever from NXT was winning the Andre the Giant at WrestleMania. So they're building him slowly. So this was like one of those things to give to him. So logically, like you said, it does make sense. Nakamura once again, just like AJ Styles. If the crowd's gonna react that way, do we need him to be champion yet?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, we don't need him to be champion yet. Like, let's have him matches. Let's have him have some matches that are just gonna be really decent without the belt. Like, then we can have him with the belt.
Yeah.
So it's relevant again. Don't really need to like water it down or like saturate it. Then you have what was it? Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn, if he wins it, I think you said it best. Is he really an underdog anymore?
Yeah.
Kind of like doesn't make sense because I thought he would win it, but I was like, it does make sense from your point of view. It's like, well, he's not really an underdog, so give him that. He's constantly going to be looked at.
It's basically a cheat code. It's like, all right, I have this thing I can like cash in.
What's he going to do it respectively?
Yeah, and then he has to do it like, oh, I'm going to do it this day or so. I don't know. It's just like, dude, it's not a good idea.
Or turn it into a three-way match. Like, he's going to do
a
three-way match.
That was one thing I was thinking. In the pay-per-view, there's a part where, where Carmella comes out during the girls' match. I was thinking if she does make it a three-way, isn't a three-way technically a no disqualification?
I believe.
So, like, if it was a three-way, could she just start a three-way and then just deck the girl with, like, who's winning with a chair and then win? Like, that'd be a sweet idea.
Or the briefcase.
Like, oh, yeah, you got the briefcase.
Or you hit him with the briefcase?
I don't know. That'd be...
I think you're absolutely correct,
I was like, that'd be kind of like a real... just like if she's always just bending the rules or something. But
I think the idea was to, like, verse Lana, because Lana did her finisher her second time.
Oh, yeah, exactly. They had
but she still kicked out of her finisher.
I don't
know.
Of
course Naomi's going to kick out of your shield.
First time you do a finisher, someone kicks out of it. I don't know if that's the best thing in the world, but either way.
I said, I was like, yeah, it's going to happen automatically, though.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, overall, though, I was like, I thought that the pay-per-view, I guess so. We'll move on to the overall just review and rating of it by stars. I was like, so for the Money in the Bank rating, I was gonna say I give it I think I said last time 3.75, which is generous, maybe 3.5. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. But when you get to see a Money in the Bank match where you get to see Nakamura versus AJ Styles or Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn, those are matches that honestly in themselves are 5-star matches, and I know they haven't been 5-star matches, but for people who this is my favorite wrestler. It's a 5-star match for them. So I was like, they were decent matches, and that match alone was a 4. So
it seemed like it built up a lot because I don't know, I felt like it was you kind of saw this build for Nakamura versus Corbin, and then build for Nakamura versus AJ.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all right, what are they gonna do? And
even Ziggler and Nakamura.
Yeah.
Technically, there's a build for that. So everyone had a reason to fight each other. I was gonna say Sami Zayn and Owens have old past things, obviously. Then you have Kevin Owens and AJ Styles are fighting over the U.S. title. So they actually did really well with that, too. So, everyone in the match had an intricate part of, actually versing each other and reason why they were versing each other. So they did well with that. No, with, I guess we could go through the matches and stuff like that. With the Women's Money in the Bank match, I honestly thought that was, a 3. It was, interesting. It happened. The only reason that it was really, really interesting was just because of the ending.
I really didn't care until Ellsworth did that, and I was popping.
Then it makes you feel bad that you feel you're a sexist pig. That's in reality we're not. As that match should have just been.
Well, I think that another thing that I know I was talking to you about, and I think even Hunter Helmsley said something about it. It's how much of a man is Ellsworth? You know what I mean? It's he's not
Nope, you got him there. That's
a weird.
They style clashed him to death that one time. It's hilarious.
Right?
That's horrible.
I don't want to dog pile on him too hard because I think he's been getting a little bit on the SmackDown because we're doing this a little late. But either way, it's just dude, he's so twiggy, dude.
He's a jobber.
He's a jobber. He's a jobber.
He's a jobber doing
he's
a
monkey.
Job. He's doing a job, and he wants people to hate him, and people hated him for it. So I was the reason that match was interesting was that and that alone. So I was that's why I'll give it 3, I guess.
For the story.
Yeah, I was going to say, and this was actually followed up by what I thought was it was my favorite match of the night outside the Money in the Bank match. It was a 3.75, or I'd even say a 4. The match was really good, technically sound. There was no parts that just seemed it didn't make sense. You're oh man, they're outside the ring for more than 10 seconds, or they're they didn't botch or anything like that. They just a sound match. And then
there was a botch with some dude, one of the Usos. I don't know which Uso, jumped off the ropes, and Big E kind of caught him weird into this weird reverse tombstone thing. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
But then he picked him up because he's fucking Big E and he's strong.
I thought
as
it kind of
fuck.
looked like it was part of the move, but you might be right though. You're absolutely right. I
But
was gonna say I
either
think it
way,
was a
I'm
botch
not
that like
trying to.
no you're I was gonna say it's like you're right. It is a botch. So it was like a botch that kind of like flowed into a move though. So
When
they
you're
kinda,
that strong, it's like, dude, it almost like sometimes when stuff like that happens, it's like, well, it's like real, dude. It's like a real fight.
I was gonna say like
you know?
Mike Elgin botches where he does that.
Yeah,
or, like,
yeah.
catching people and stuff like that. But I was gonna
Powers
say,
through.
but either way, at the same time though, regardless, I was like I thought this was one of the better matches. And
Yeah,
I thought
I
like it was
enjoyed
like
it a lot.
it was like maybe like 4. I would say that's by far one of the better ones. And I was gonna say Lana versus Naomi. Like I don't know. I thought the match was really bad. Like it was really really bad. It's like
horrible.
a 2.
I thought it was horrible.
2 point nothing.
I would definitely go lower. I don't know, but
2.75 is being nice
for
because
one,
Lana's first
dude, it's
time.
awful. I don't know, whatever.
It was a really bad.
I'm sure
match.
that's not really a 1, but I just didn't care for it. And it's also like, I feel like when you're on a pay-per-view, it's like, dude, can't you be on a higher standard of like being better?
See, that's
like,
what you're expecting though. Something a lot better than what we saw. It was not. No, you're okay to give it a 1. It wasn't
But
good. It didn't seem like.
I just was like, all right, this is crap, but whatever. Hearing this girl just scream a lot, and
Right.
she was hot though, so maybe it was a 2. So they're pretty sexy.
I was like, she had a couple good moves too.
So I was like, okay.
She had a couple good moves, and her botch ratio wasn't insane.
She wasn't like that.
There was a
god
lot of
awful,
space
but it was
between
just,
moves. There's a lot of
wasn't
time
that
and
good.
space. Yeah, the match moved so slow because she didn't like follow up a move with another move. She just do her
Yeah.
move and then yell or scream or try to play the crowd. So it was like, yeah, it was followed by the Fashion Police promo, which I honestly thought was like, I guess if you're giving it a rating, amazing. So
Yeah.
that's the rating I'll
It's
give
great.
it. And then I was say Mike and Maria Kanellis, like that's I guess like a so-so, like instead of being thumbs up or thumbs down, like wave in the middle. I was like, it happened.
I think it needs to play out more. I don't.
Yep.
You know, so
Not gonna
I don't
watch
know.
that on SmackDown. So I'm not kidding. I was like, and Randy versus Yinder. I'll give that 3. Give that a 3 for like that match because the match like had a good interruption. It sold like the old people being there and the reason for it. It also like I guess got Yinder over as being a heel. People hate him. They hate him even more. So I was like,
I think I'm like a half star behind like on just about everything you have. Just
No, that's
because
fair.
it's like that match was so not different than the previous one.
Yeah. Oh, the only thing different was the way that the interruption happened.
Yeah.
Like, the way that the interruption happened, the other one, he came right back into the ring and then he did his like camel. What is it? His Cobra clutch slam.
Yeah.
And then he finished him. This time he got beat up a little bit by Randy Orton and then finished him. So you
so,
are
like,
exactly right.
Just because of
No,
that. I was
you're
just
right.
like,
No, it's okay. I was like, that's cool. Ain't no worries. And I was gonna say that match was actually followed by like the Fashion Police and Ascension,
Oh.
which, yeah, I thought this was worse than Lana and Naomi for me. So I was like,
Yeah.
they're better wrestlers, but at the same time, well, Naomi's a really good wrestler, so that's not fair. But I was gonna say though, I'll give that a 1.75.
Okay.
That's like, I think maybe 1.5. I was like, it ain't a 1.
All right,
is
yeah,
really
it
bad.
wasn't a 1. So
Because
it's-
Tyler Breeze is a super.
I'll
good
give that
wrestler.
one a 2. I'll go higher than you on that just to be nice to the people in the match.
Give him that, and then of course the main event, Money in the Bank. I'll actually give this a 4.25. I thought this is the best match of the night, and actually was like the reason to watch it. I think it was even the reason to like pay for the pay-per-view. So it's like, or I guess if you actually do that anymore, people like buy on demand or
Oh
whatever.
God.
I don't know
I
whoever
hope you
would
don't.
pay.
I
I don't
don't
know if that's
know if
even a
it's worth
possibility.
that.
Oh God, I was like, it was the reason for it, and I guess they built
But
it.
it
as
was
that,
really good.
yeah. So it was really good. They put it in a, like I even said before, a really bad spot. So it's, I don't know, should have been like switched with the championship match, but who cares?
Yeah.
Can't say anything with that. But I was gonna say, so that's why I got that rating. I think if it was in a different place, it might have made the match even better. But of course, no. So they did.
I agree with that though. 4.25. That's a pretty good rating for it. Because I was pretty pissed about Nakamura, but it's also like it's part of the. I'm supposed to get pissed off. You know, it's what they want. So.
Well, I did hear an interesting take. It is odd that he barely got his ass kicked and then came back and he's selling it like worse than these other guys who like literally got destroyed.
Yeah.
Like they've been destroyed and he's selling like a little bit of a beating from Baron Corbin. And
I know, it's like, dude, it's
Corbin
so
threw,
long
like,
for
a
him to be
ladder
beat up,
through,
and it's just
like-
it was so long so far what I've seen
You're right,
of
though,
how
like
they've
10
treated
minutes.
Nakamura. It's like they've treated him pretty shitty. Like it's just this
they're
is how you
doing something
work
with
this
small
guy.
dosages because I guess they don't want him to be too over too fast.
Yeah,
But I agree with you though. It kind of seems.
it's just they just haven't booked him well, in my opinion. Yeah, whatever. But it's just this match was pretty sweet once he came back in. He like definitely showed how awesome he was.
There were other
They
spots
finally
that
let
were
him
cool without
wrestle
him.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was spots that were cool without. That is a
It
good
just
point.
sucks
They
having
were-
him build in it and
Yeah.
then have him like immediately.
Just know he's not there.
Yep.
It's like, well, that guy's supposed to be here somewhere. And I think there was like, I think you mentioned this last time. There was like there was definitely like a spot or maybe two spots where you like heard the crowd like yell and look over and you didn't know what happened.
Yeah, because they were too busy on the I call it the WWE angle, which is just the ring.
Yeah.
Like, it's only the ring. It's the only thing you're looking at is just the ring. Like, two guys coming in the ring, and there's 6 people fighting. There's 6 people in that match, and we were paying attention to 2. And it's like, if you watch a lot more, it's like almost like a center stage view of the ring. Like, it's a really bad common thing with them, because this isn't like PWG. Like everyone has to be close. There's nowhere to sit. You're in a gymnasium. Like, you have tons of space. Like, there are 4 other people fighting in this match that we're not seeing anything of.
Yeah.
It's like,
get more cameras. Do a replay.
Or at least offer one in the corner. Just do 1 or 2. Like, there's other action happening. Show something. I mean, I don't know. But that's just me. But either way, though, it did seem like you missed a couple spots where people were like, oh. And they're like, oh, great. We just missed some amazing stuff, actually. Okay, cool. Well, that's lame. No,
yeah.
Like, so that's not, I don't know, it bothered me. It was like one of those things that just kind of was like, but at the same time, though, you did get to see really neat spots, and I was going to say, you get to see Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles, you get to see AJ Styles versus, like, Sami Zayn for a couple seconds, Corbin versus AJ Styles, like, or, like, Corbin versus Zayn, and you just get to see a lot of random matches that are like, oh, these would be neat, maybe, like, on Raw or SmackDown, so it's like maybe they'll get to play out on SmackDown. They won't. They'll save them for something else, and they'll just set up feuds for it and botch endings. Because, like, like the Nakamura-Kevin Owens match that was 13 minutes on SmackDown. Who wants to watch a 13-minute match on SmackDown?
Yeah.
12-minute botch ending. And then say it's better than the one on Ring of Honor, and then be like, oh, you're never happy with what's on WWE. No, I'm not happy with a schmoz ending. And then I get to see the match for another 6 months. Like, if there was an immediate payoff on the next pay-per-view where Nakamura versus, like, Kevin Owens for the championship, then okay, fair enough, that's okay. But there won't be. We won't see another match for a long time. So what's the point of that match? Especially with a shitty ending. So I was like, that's besides the point, and that has nothing to do with anything. I was going to say, regardless, so you got to see them at least fight each other for a couple seconds. I don't think Kevin Owens actually got up and fought Nakamura. He was dead.
He was dead by that time Nakamura came out.
He was still dead from the AJ thing.
Nakamura just old yellered him and kind of put him out.
Put him down.
Which was still pretty badass. I don't know.
I was going to say, so overall, I guess in conclusion, or like to wrap it up or whatever, I was going to say final thoughts on it, overall.
I guess I'm glad I watched it overall.
Like, I'm glad I worked that day. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, I had overtime, and it was really actually worth working. So I was like, it's one of those ones I didn't need to see live, but I wasn't like worried about seeing anything on like any news feeds because I don't think it mattered that much. I'm like,
yeah, it was.
Or if I found out who won anything, I wasn't upset. You know what I mean? Like, we were actually talking about like. Both of us were watching for the first time the Super Juniors. Well, I was watching for my first time the Super Juniors. And when I asked you about it, you're like, "Yeah, no spoilers." It's like it's weird because we actually cared, so we like didn't go on like Facebook for like I didn't go on Facebook or Twitter for a whole day or like until I watched it because I wanted to see the ending. And it's like weird because I didn't care about it with this pay-per-view. I was like, so to be fair, like that's kind of almost a review in itself.
Yeah, it
should have just been at the beginning. Like,
it wasn't.
Like I didn't really care if I like turned my newsfeed on like Twitter or Facebook and like that popped up. So I was like, oh wait, Corbin won? Well, you know what?
It's like it's time for him to finally push him. It's like just
a little bit farther. He hasn't had a belt though. He only had one match against like Dean Ambrose where he beat him for not the belt, and then Ambrose went to Raw.
Yeah, with it was Intercontinental.
Yeah, he took the belt with him. Didn't even make sense.
Yeah, because they flip belts now, right? Because it used to be the other way.
Yeah,
just to confuse me.
Which didn't even make sense either because Dean Ambrose that week then.
For me.
Right, fair enough. I'm sorry.
But no, what you're saying?
Well, then Dean Ambrose went to Raw that week or the next week, and then fought Kevin Owens and beat him.
Yeah.
And then Kevin Owens lost to like Jericho and then re-beat him.
Yeah, I feel like there was something like that where it was just like all the losers went to SmackDown or something like that.
Yeah, so it was like
I
it didn't really
remember it all, but I feel like that was like
it didn't really make much sense except for Bray Wyatt.
Oh, there you go.
Bray Wyatt's always a loser. So I was like, we'll end on that though. I was like, so that was our first review of Money in the Bank or Money in the Bank in general. So peace out, take care.
Peace.